Welcome to Inside Outboard'S with your host, Kodibass.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a while. My last video I put up was me leaving Florida and coming home to the Great Land. And ever since I got here, it's been snowing, blowing. It finally warmed up the last couple of days, so I thought I'd get out here, give you a tour. It is usual, sorry about that, it's my little windsock thing. It's usual, or not unusual, for when I go on one of these bizcations or whatnot, or hunting or whatever, if I leave for a few days, things show up. They show up here. So I'm going to give you a little tour of that, and then I've also had another little project that's been keeping me a little bit busy that I want to get wrapped up, and I'm just waiting on some parts on that. But I'm not sure what I'm going to start off the season of videos with. You remember that little Johnson fitting that was whiny? It liked to whine a lot. You remember? I tried 3 different lower units on it, but if I pulled the lower unit off and started the power head, it ran smooth, quiet, and quite well. But the minute I stabbed the lower unit in there, whine, whine, whine. I still got that sitting in my tank, because I tell you, that one's just been squeak, 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 making me scratch my head. So, I'm thinking about just starting with that one since it's in the tank. Go ahead and pop that power head off of there like a teenage pimple. Maybe crack that thing open and see if we can find something. I cannot sell it like it is, so pop the power head, maybe see if something, if we can find something. A smoking gun. If you remember this little motor, I found a cow, and I think it was a sheep in the lower unit when I originally took it apart. I ain't making it up. Go back and look at the video. It's there. So, I'm thinking about starting off with that, but I got a lot of options, especially after going on a little bizcation, selling some properties down there in Florida. So I want to say a big hello to all the new subscribers, and yes, the weather is finally breaking, and hopefully we'll get some videos up here. My shop was a mess. Well, my shop still is a mess, but I'm trying to get things straightened up and get things going here. But I've got a lot of options as far as videos. I'm going to take you on a little tour on some of the stuff that showed up about here while I was gone, and maybe you guys could help me decide what I should start on. I've got a lot of good choices for sure, and then I'll show you my new to me project. Let's go. for Mr. Daniels, Mr. Robert. Here's a Spirit 20, Arctic Spirit 20. You can see right there it says 20. This is nothing but a Suzuki. Oh. And you had asked me about a hood for a 20. I have several 15s, but that's the only 20 I've got. And as you can see, the 20's quite a bit bigger. So the old Suzuki 15 ain't gonna cut it. So I can't help you there. Was hoping I could, but that's all I got. 15s. Okay, I had a sub ask about a head. This is, I think, a 1972. I can't remember if you were asking for a head off an 82, 25, or a 82. But anyway, this has got the old, like the 18 and the 20 horsepower thermostat T-stat cover up top of the head. And I think this one's a 72. Then I had another guy asking about these safety interlocks. This engine seized up and all, but I have a few of these with the springs, clips, the bolt, everything. So I'll show you the other head I have, and if it's not this one, it'll be this other one, but I should have both, I do believe. Hang on. Okay, here's the other style 25. This one I believe is a 77, but it would be the same as an 82, I do believe. And I can't tell whether these are the original power heads. This one has the thermostat right here on the back of a head cover, so it's a two-piece deal with the head. And again, here's this little safety interlock that somebody's looking. This one's a little different though, you see. It's got a nylon deal instead of a metal spring. But I have both of them. So, is that the head you're looking for? Is that the safety interlock you're looking for? Well, here's my new to me project. A fella told me if I would tune up his lawnmower for him this spring, that I could have it. His wife wanted it out of the yard. It was a non-running vehicle sitting on some flat tires, and it would crank over but not start. I have since taken care of those issues. It's a very good running van, and I'm happy to get it. It's a 1996, but what makes it good for me up here is what it says right there. Astro all-wheel drive. And it's quite a clean vehicle for our parts for a 1996. It's got the 3 doors on the back, Dutch doors. The problem with it was the coil and CDI power pack had burned out on it because the coil wire was touching the oil dipstick tube. And the coil wire was all cracked and abraded. And so when I put the new coil, I did a spark check and I had no spark on it. And when I put the new coil and CDI unit, the new ignition module and everything in there, it started right up. But I heard a ticking noise, so I came back out after it got dark, and I got the dog house off of it in there. and I started it up, and I could see that coil wire arcing to the oil dipstick tube. So I'm waiting on a set of new iridium plugs, NGK, and NGK wires. Should be here any day, and I'll get this thing buttoned up. Nice all-wheel drive Chevy Astro. The glass is good in it. So that's been taking up a little of my time. Okay, so we have in and amongst my normal motors that I had out here before I left, that 15 Johnson right there is new to me. That showed up. The 25 Yamaha and the, what horsepower is that? The 25 EVINRUDE. So this one are new to me. They showed up while I was gone, and there was a note and so forth. The fella told me how he acquired them and how he wanted them gone. It was a neighbor of his who had these, and she didn't want them in her yard no more. He didn't want them, but he said he'd bring them to me. I can't remember if I had the little 3.3 Johnson or not before I left. But either way, it's new to me. The little 9.9 Yamaha, there is no power head under that bonnet, but I have at least 3 power heads sitting on bad lower units. And let me get that straight. It's got to be straight, you understand. I don't allow no crooked outboards around here. Mama don't allow none around here. Yeah, I've got at least 3 power heads that I can put on that. And that's all that's new on this rack. Is there more? Is there more? Of course there's more. Okay, I can't remember, but the dark blue 9.9 EVINRUDE is new. The 35 short shaft there is new. The Mariner I had before I left here. And that's all that's new on this rack. Let's go look at some others. Okay, that short shaft lower there. Always happy to get them short shafts because I've got about twice as many long shaft outboard 15s as I do short shafts. And all those lower units right there are new to me. They came with the pile of stuff, and so just a bunch of parts, but happy to get that lower there. I can always use those lower drive shafts. Yeah. So, yeah, there's some new parts. And then these are the ones that my buddy Charlie brought me right before I left. Those there, you can see there's a cutie. See the little cutie seahorse? There's another cutie. A little kicken hyphen right there. Says so right on the front. And a little 4-horse and another 15. Is that a shorty? Ooh, that's a shorty too. So there's another shorty. And then I got a 25 and a 35, older ones. Right there. And then, whoo! Looky there. Is them some parts or what? I got 2 big piles over there, way over there, just heaped in all these. A few more here. A few more there. Parts, and more parts. Alrighty, so there's what showed up while I was gone, and as you can see, I've got a lot of options for repairing things and getting these motors ready for sale and so forth. But I wanted to show you something else. I just happened when I was messing with this little Johnson in there, messing with the lower units, because it was originally a long shaft, and so something came up while I was messing with those lower units that I thought would be of interest. I want to show you these. These are the extension pickup tubes for converting a short shaft to a long shaft. You would need, well, let me show you. I got a couple of them here. So here's the things you would need. I had a couple of questions about these, so all right, this would be the complete set. You would need this midsection. I've seen them with or without this shaft silencer here. And then you need this. The water tube goes down through that and stabs in there. Okay? So you're supposed to have this. I've seen them without it, but there's that. All right, then this is the old style extension that goes down through all this. You can see there's a place for an O-ring. I guess that bulge is for it. And then this is the new style. It's just flanged. I even got the part numbers. Somebody was asking me. I don't know if these are available anymore, these extensions. But the old style one that uses an O-ring, this one, that's part number 0320025. You might be able to find it on Crowley or something. The new style that just has a flange like that is part number 0327035. This one. It just is flanged out. And I've never used an O-ring with neither of them. What I do is put a little RTV black. I just put some RTV black around there and then shove the two together, let it sit overnight, and you've got an O-ring. But you can use an O-ring. Then to make it a long shaft, you would need the long drive shaft. And then you would need the long shift linkage. And then to go short shaft, you can cut that shift link and make your own. I have a video on that. So let me get my daggum camera. Be in a pickle. And then, hopefully I answered the questions about the different heads that a fellow was looking for there. And then there's these things. And like I showed you, there was a fella asking about these nylon interlocks, and they take kind of a special bolt that's shouldered like that, and then a spring and a washer and so forth. Yes, I have these. Now, people say, well, hey, how much is it going to cost to ship that to Des Moines, Iowa? Nope, that's for you to find out. Here's what I can tell you. My zip code here is 99615. And I typically would ship something like this in a USPS flat rate small box or envelope. And it doesn't matter if you live in Florida and I'm all the way up here in Alaska. If it'll fit in one of those flat rate boxes, it doesn't matter where you're at in the United States. It's the law. They have to ship it flat rate Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Alaska, Georgia, Florida, New York, it don't matter. It's all the same for flat rate. So it doesn't really matter what your zip code is if you're in the U.S. If you're in the U.S., it's like I said, I'm going to use USPS flat rate, and it's the same no matter where you're at. So something like this will fit in a little flat rate envelope box or whatever they got. I think it's around $6. So the average price if you could find this new, I will sell it for less than half of that for sure. So if you're interested in that interlock, there it is. I have several of them. But again, do your research, because as I showed you earlier, there are 2 different styles of it. Which there's always at least 2 different styles, you understand. So, just wanted to go over those things. We'll be hopefully getting my shop straightened out, and spring will hopefully sprung, and we can get some videos up, and hopefully I answered all the questions. Again, thank you for watching, and as always, I'm back with one more hack from Kodiak.
More vids are a-coming on Inside Outboards with your host, Kodibass.